Hey YouTube, Matty's Daddy 12 here with another legit YGO deck profile. This one is my Chaos Control deck that I used at the most recent GOAT format side event at Legit MTG, home store of Legit YGO. But before I talk about my deck, I want to talk about legitYGO.com. Make sure you head over there and read all of the YuGiOh articles. Also, make sure you head over to legitMTG.com and check out all of the Magic the Gathering articles. Make sure you click on that store icon. Head over to the store and pick up everything that you may need, sealed or singles, for all of your gaming needs, be it Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic the Gathering. But for today's deck profile, I'm going to talk about my Chaos Control that I played at a recent GOAT format side event that we had at Legit MTG. And man, there's a lot of people that are getting really excited about GOAT Control again, GOAT format, and that's the April 2005 format. For anybody that may or may not, or that may not know what GOAT format is, you can only play cards that were legal during that time, and you go by the ban list that was set for that time. And I remember playing GOAT format, and I don't remember it quite as fondly as most of the players feel about it now. But whatever it is, I do have a soft spot in my heart for GOAT Control. However, I don't really like playing the GOAT Control deck because I feel like most people are expecting that when they sit down to play GOAT format. So I wanted to play something a little bit different. So I played my Chaos Control, and I don't know, I did fine. I made top four. We did not play out top four. We just split the prize amongst the top four. So there was no actual winner, but I did make top four with this build, and it's very similar to a build that most any Chaos Control is playing right now as far as GOAT format is concerned. You have the one BLS. He's Boss Monster. 3 Chaos Sorcerers. They are more boss monsters. Magician of Faith at 2. Yeah, flip effects. Faith does what he does with your the Trinity in this format of Graceful Charity, Delinquent Duo, and Pot of Greed. Anytime that you can resolve Magician of Faith multiple times, you just accumulate so much advantage. One Magical Merchant. I do like Merchant a lot. He dumps my monsters, and he gives me that one spell that I may need at any given time. I do play triple Thunder Dragon. This is something that is really only getting play in GOAT format right now, and it's a sad thing that is true, that is the case, because I really like Thunder Dragon. You draw one Thunder Dragon, you can discard it to add up to 2 more to your hand. So depending on where you're at in the game at that moment, if you're setting with darks in your, I actually won my last match of the day because I was holding a Chaos Sorcerer and Book of Moon. I had a Chaos Sorcerer, BLS. I had Book of Moon too, but I don't think the Book of Moon mattered. But I had darks in the graveyard, and I didn't have any lights. And I had a chance to push for game. So I top decked the Thunder Dragon. I discarded Thunder Dragon to add another Thunder Dragon to my hand. Then I discarded that Thunder Dragon to add my last Thunder Dragon to my hand, which gave me the 2 lights in the graveyard needed to then summon my Chaos Sorcerer and my BLS. So Thunder Dragon is really good. He adds a bit of versatility to the deck that most people don't usually get to see with their decks, because I'm able to play stuff like Raigeki Break. Delinquent Duo is not as good against this deck because I have Thunder Dragons. Are you really going to pay 1,000 life points if you know that I'm holding 2 Thunder Dragons in hand? So whatever you hit is going to have a high chance of being a Thunder Dragon, and you know that I'm going to discard a Thunder Dragon. So yeah, it has a big resilience to Delinquent Duo. I do like playing one Jinzo. Jinzo can flat just shut down a lot of decks. Just plopping him out there and just being like, you're done for with your 3 back row. If it's not Book of Moon or or a GOAT, then your back rows are done, and Jinzo just shuts you out of the game. Double Exerion Universe. This guy's fine. He tramples. The biggest thing that I like about him is he's a dark and he's 1900 defense. I can set him out there and he can eat up a Nobleman to cross out. As silly as that may sound, that's actually a very big play that you can do. Just letting him get eaten up by a cross out because it makes your merchants and your Magicians of Faith live. One breaker because you got to play the breaker. He's another one of your back row outs. There was another scenario where breaker actually won me the game because I still had MST, Heavy Storm, and breaker in my deck, and I was sitting at a point where my opponent had one back row, and I fan out his graveyard. I knew that his back row had to be either a Dust Tornado, Mirror Force, or Sakuretsu Armor. If it was Sakuretsu Armor or Mirror Force, he eliminates my board. If I can get past that one back row, then I win the game. I pot agreed into breaker. I pot agreed into Graceful Charity into a Sinister Serpent, breaker, and insignificant card. Summon breaker, pop the back row, and then just proceeded to win the game because the back row was a bluffed Dust Tornado. And just proceeded to win the game from there because he had nothing to stop my Chaos Sorcerers and BLS. I only run one Tsukiyomi, which is a little odd because I do run plenty of flip effects with the Double Faith, Merchant, and I do run a Night Assailant also. But Suki's really only great if you're facing against a goat control deck. And Suki, of course, is the out to Thousand Eyes Restrict. So I do side a second Suki, but I only main deck the one. Sangan, because he is critter. Night Assailant. Night Assailant is another card that is extremely good in GOAT format. What it does for me is I can discard this card, and it allows me to add a flip effect monster other than itself back to my hand. It allows me to add back my Merchant and my Magicians of Faith. Honestly, if I'm going to run this much, or if I want to run this card, I kind of want to run more flip effect monsters. But it is what it is. Night Assailant also gives me more protection from Delinquent Duo. Delinquent Duo is the only I don't want to say it's skillless because a well-placed Delinquent Duo can easily win you the game, but Delinquent Duo is the only card in GOAT format that you are not able to play around. And that is the only card that is really that unfair. In GOAT format. But anyway, Night Assailant, if it gets discarded, then I get to grab one of my flip effects back, and it's also a Man-Eater Bug, so and it's a dark, so that's even better. Tribe Infecting Virus. Yeah, he does good things. Sinister Serpent continues to come back and come back and come back. One thing that you'll notice different in my build that you'll see in others. I do not run Morphing Jar. I work so hard to eliminate my opponent's card advantage and to just gain advantage over my opponent. I fear the opportunity of hitting a Morphing Jar and putting my opponent in a situation where we are now equal in card advantage, or there is no advantage anymore because we end up equal on cards, or to give them a chance where they end up with cards that I do not know what they are. So I hate giving my opponent cards that I don't have knowledge of. That's why I don't like the Morphing Jar. So yeah, that's my monsters. I believe there's 19. There's actually 41 cards in this deck, which is a little odd considering most GOAT format decks are exactly 40. One Delinquent Duo, one Pot of Greed, and one Graceful Charity. That is the Trinity. That is the amazing everything that is this format. I do run one card destruction. Again, I have the Night Assailant that allows me to add cards back to my hand. I do have the Thunder Dragons, which would allow me to add an extra card to my hand. So if I'm holding a card destruction and a Thunder Dragon, I can discard Thunder Dragon, get two Thunder Dragons, and then card destruction and get to draw two cards as opposed to just one. Chaos Sorcerer is also dead a lot, so if you're going to run triple Chaos Sorcerer with this deck, I do suggest you run the card destruction. But yeah, it's cool. Premature Burial, Snatch Steal, these are just overpowered cards that are awesome. Heavy Storm and MST, these are cards that you must have. Nobleman of Crossout, I feel like these are cards that you almost have to have. Also, I run double Metamorphosis. This deck does have a backbone of Goat Control. It does not depend on Goat Control, but it is there as a means if I need it. But honestly, the deck wins on Chaos, and it doesn't need the Metamorphosis and Scapegoat as much as most decks may need in this format. But also one Scapegoat, so Scapegoat Metamorphosis is there. One Book of Moon. Most people swear by this card in this format. I've found that it is really not as good as what most would hope. If you don't have a monster, then Book of Moon is just lackluster. If you don't have a monster, then really all Book of Moon is just an out to Jinzo. And even then, you have to have the monster to beat over the Jinzo. So, I don't know. I really like Book of Moon. I really want to push this up. I kind of want to play this trapless, but I haven't really tested that near enough. At that point, I would bump it up to a second Scapegoat and at least 2, if not a 3rd Book of Moon. But yeah, I don't know. That's something I'll just have to look into. So that's the spells. I don't know how many spells that is. Traps. One Call the Haunted. Destruction stuff. I have Torrential Tribute, Ring of Destruction, Mirror Force, Sakuretsu Armor. I have Raigeki Break for my destruction also. With Thunder Dragon, I can make this guy a free card. Free destruction. Sinister Serpent makes this thing free. Well, I guess a 1-for-1. But yeah, Raigeki Break is so good in this deck, and it's so unexpected. One Return from a Different Dimension. Return from a Different Dimension is just an absolute, it's game. You resolve this card and you win the game. That's what this card should say. It shouldn't say pay half your life points and special summon, blah, blah, blah. It should say pay your half points and win the game. That's what it should say. Spell Shield Type 8. Lackluster at best, because I did not play enough flip effect monsters to counter Nominal Crossout, and I did not face enough people main decking enough Book of Moons to make this really worth it. But it is what it is. 41 card main deck. It's probably going to change quite a bit between now and the next Goat Control format we have, or Goat format event we have. You got to have your tokens if you're playing goats. So I got tokens, and they're shiny, and they're goats, and they're sheep, and they're lambs. Pretty standard. Triple Thousand Eyes Restrict. One thing that I do with this deck, it's only 15 cards in the side deck, or in the extra deck. It's fair that way. I don't feel like I need a whole deck box full of extra deck cards, but I also kind of like it that way. Dark Flare Dragon, Double Fiend Skull Dragon, Double Dark Baltar the Terrible, 1 Reaper on the Nightmare, 1 Dark Blade the Dragon Knight. This guy's pretty cool. He's Kaiku. Kind of Kaiku. Double Ryu Senshi, 1 Ojama King, 1 Last Warrior from Another Planet, and 1 Gatlin Dragon. There's nothing better than watching my opponent go, what? Whenever I snatch, steal their BLS, remove a monster, and then morph it into Gatling Dragon, or even my own monster and my own BLS and morph it into Gatling Dragon, and then just push for game. But yeah, guys, there you go. That's my Goat format Chaos Control deck. Do not expect it to look the same. It will look extremely different next time you see it. So, I appreciate it, guys. Subscribe. Make sure you head over to legit YGO.com. Check out all the Yu-Gi-Oh articles. Make sure you head over to legit MTG.com. Check out all the Magic the Gathering articles. Click on that store icon. Head over and check out all of the singles and sealed product for all of your gaming needs. And subscribe. Comment down below. Show us how much you love us.